Don't let insolvency catch you off guard. If you think insolvency is a problem that only happens to failing businesses, you are setting yourself up for a very rude awakening. Now, today I'm going to break down some proven, actionable strategies to protect your business from insolvency, avoiding common pitfalls that I see every single day and keeping your company financially healthy, no matter what the economy throws at us. Now, if you're a UK business owner who wants to get ahead of potential risks and ensure long-term stability, then this video's for you. Now, my name's Chris Worden and I'm from Direct to First, and I'll tell you why I know all this stuff. Because I speak to about 400 people every month whose businesses are starting to struggle. And guess what? There are some common themes with everyone I've spoken to over the many, many years that I've been doing this. Number one, right? Prioritize cash flow management. Cash flow is the number one reason that businesses either thrive or fail. It doesn't matter how profitable your business is on paper, if the cash isn't moving in and out as needed, you are in big trouble. It is the heartbeat of every business and it needs to be monitored constantly. So what I want you to do is set up a cash flow forecast. Create a cash flow forecast that you update weekly, monthly or quarterly depending on your business cycle. This helps you spot potential shortfalls well before they happen. On a weekly basis, I will say to our team here, right, what's this week looking like? Who do you think will drop in? Will this business convert this month? If it's not this month, we're constantly looking at what we're due coming in. Now for us guys, we might speak to you for months before you become a client. So we've got to understand, we've got to keep building that sales pipeline. We've got to keep, that's why we do these funny videos, because hopefully if you're struggling, you might pick the phone up to us. So we get loads of inquiries, and we put them in our pipeline, okay? We're constantly looking at what's coming this month, what's coming next month. Another thing that's dead important is establish some cash reserves. Get some wool on your back. Think of it as a rainy day fund for your business. Now, for me, you've got to aim to keep at least 3 months of expenses in reserve. And it gives you a buffer, a bit of protection should anything slow down, a quiet sales quarter or an economic downturn. If you're unsure where to start with cash flow forecasts or a reserve fund, reach out to us. We'll have a natter with you. We'll help you walk through the basics. You know, call us 0800 086 2766 or book a call in the meeting link. Next thing I want to talk to you about, how to avoid insolvency, is to manage debt effectively. Listen, debt can be a powerful tool if it's managed wisely. But I also see it bringing businesses down to its knees if it left unchecked. So try and think of debt as an investment in your business, not a permanent fixture. You've got to review debt and sometimes refinance your debt. Regularly reviewing all debts. See if there's any opportunities to refinance to a better deal or consolidate them at lower interest rates that reduce your monthly obligations. I want you to try and focus on high interest debt first. Make it a priority to tackle these debts that are costing you the most, because it's going to save you some money in the long run and it's going to free up cash for other parts of your business. I also want you to be really careful about taking on debt, especially if your business is struggling. There are certain lenders out there that will lend to businesses that are struggling as long as you sign a personal guarantee. And what that means is if the business fails, they're going to come to you for the money that you borrow. It can be a credit card, it could be an overdraft, it could be a loan, it could be invoice factoring. There's a whole raft of situations that will give you dough as long as you put your house on the line. Now, nobody, I believe, does this with the intention of becoming homeless, but I'm seeing more and more directors now where it's all gone to hell in a handbasket. The personal guarantees are attacking them post-liquidation and they cannot breathe. And the stress I see these directors under, for a lot of them, it's life and death. So before you sign a personal guarantee and get money into this business, you've got to be 1,000,000% that it's going to work out. And if you're thinking about raising money and signing a PG, I want you to speak to us first. Call us 0800 086 2766 or reach out to somebody. Very important to avoid speaking to someone like me, and it's keep operating expenses lean. Now, cutting back on expenses isn't something to do only in a crisis. If you keep your operating costs lean, it means you're building a resilient business that's prepared for any bumps along the way. As tempting as it is to get staff massages in the office once a week, it's going to hit your bottom line. As tempting as it is to get the corner office because you've had a good quarter, or upgrade the car because you've had a good month, you've got to think really, really careful before you do it. Conduct regular expense audits. Now, I do it every quarter. I'll go through every expense line by line. I'll cancel subscriptions I don't use. I'll potentially negotiate with suppliers, and I'll look at unnecessary costs. Last week I did it, and I realised that something I'd signed up for, some training, which were 500 quid a month for 3 months, I'd been billed it in error for another 3 months. Now, there was no issues with the training company. It was an honest mistake. They refunded the money straight away. But if I wasn't doing this, my business, and there's times where I've just not looked at things for 12 months because I'm busy. Not doing this regularly really hurts your business. You do it in your personal life as well. Like, I found out I'm paying 2 Spotifys and 2 Netflixes. Now, you can try and negotiate better terms with suppliers. If you've got a decent relationship with them, you can use that as leverage. Many of your suppliers want to work with you, okay? I remember there was a coaching that I wanted to do, and I only had this much a month, and I knew it was a little bit less than they charged. And I just went, listen, I've got this, will you work with me? And they said, yeah. Now, I know it seems really awkward and uncomfortable to do, but it's important. It may seem small, you know, getting rid of a 15 quid here or 20 quid there, but consistently cutting unnecessary expenses adds up and improves the profitability over time. Make it a habit of reviewing all your operating expenses at least once a quarter. Another thing that I think is great for most businesses is diversify revenue streams. If you're relying on one revenue stream, it's quite a high risk move. So if you can diversify your income, but it not only increases your revenue potential, but it shields you from sudden downturns in sort of one area of your market. You can sort of expand your products and services, look at what you're offering, considering adding complementary products or service. I mean, if you're a consultant, could you perhaps add some online courses, some templates or ebooks? Maybe you could explore some new markets. Could your product or service appeal to a different demographic, different industry? If you enter into a new market, you can buffer your business against downturns in your primary market. Now, listen, diversification doesn't mean overhauling your business, but it's like small adjustments, like, you know, adding a new service or offering an add-on. It can make a big difference. I think one thing that everybody should be doing is strengthening your relationship with your clients. Like, long-term relationships, they're not just good for morale, They're essential for cash flow stability, because the more loyal your clients are, the more predictable your income. If someone tells me I only get work from word of mouth, that person's put a lot of effort in. You know, there are certain people who refer work to me, and, you know, I'm constantly touching base with them, you know, and whenever they give me an opportunity, I deliver. And that brings me on to my next point, is deliver exceptional customer service. Try and exceed your customers' expectations, because a happy client, not only are they stick around, but they're gonna refer new business into you. I've worked for myself since I was 25, and what I've noticed is, in business, most people are full of shit. Honest to God, it's like, I don't think they mean to be, but they're just not straight. They just don't do what they say they're going to do. They don't call when they say they're going to call. They don't produce what they've said they're going to produce. They don't pick the phone up when there's a problem. And that, I've worked in different industries. That is across every single industry. You know what? In the 17 years I've been in business, I can probably count on two hands on the people that I rely on in business and I trust. And I stick with them. Like, literally, there's people I know that will not let me down. And you know what? I know I mentioned exceeding client expectations. I don't even think you need to do that. Just do what you say you're going to do. Charge what you say you're going to charge. If there's a problem, and listen, there are problems in business. I've got a problem I've got to deal with today. There's been an error made. I'm going to have to pick the phone up and deal with the problem. It doesn't, in my experience, it doesn't take much to stand out from the crowd. And what I found is, if you do the next right thing consistently, you get a good reputation. Listen, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I've got a good reputation. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And that wins me work. Dead important. And so easy to do. And if you can't do it, just say, listen, I can't do it for this reason. I'll tell you another thing, not everyone's a good fit for you. Some clients are a pain in the arse. I don't want them. I don't like the client who rings me and tells me what I need to do for him. I had one the other week. I'm like, mate, why are you on the phone to me? Honestly, he's told me for 10 minutes what I need to do for him. I said, mate, I'm not a good fit for you. I had another guy who Instagrammed me. Says, Chris, I've been following you for ages. You've got my business if you'll do it for 1,500 quid. And I'm thinking, mate, I don't want your work for 1,500 quid. He's not been listening to a bloody thing I've been saying for the last few years. 1,500 quid liquidations means you should run for the hills. Not everyone's your ideal client. But you know, when you get one, consider loyalty programs, you know, discounts or rewarding repeat customers. Because retaining clients is a lot cheaper than finding new ones. I mean, you might think that a client retention program can feel complex, but listen, it's fairly easy to implement. It's so hard making moves in your business if you don't know your numbers. So financial clarity is critical, because you can make data-driven decisions and protect you from costly mistakes. So get a good accountant. And when you get a good accountant, speak to them. Go and sit down with them, ask them questions, and ask them what are they doing for you. Because they might be an accountant who's just doing the year end. Maybe you're going to need a bookkeeper as well to do your monthly management accounts, that's going to show you on a monthly basis if you're making money or not. You know, what metrics are you monitoring, you know? Are you monitoring leads coming in? Are you monitoring conversions? Are you monitoring average cost of sales, cost of marketing? You know, what are your profit margins every month? Because these numbers, they're going to give you a very quick view of whether your business is healthy or not. Because you can be making loads of money on paper, but if the money's never bloody coming in because your credit control is terrible, you're going to hit a problem. Now, a lot of people, they think, oh God, I don't want to hire a bookkeeper, it's an extra expense. I'm not great with them type of numbers. I want somebody to do that for me and send it me so I can review it. So I can spend my time doing what I'm good at, which is speaking to people, getting deals done, uncovering problems, doing videos on TikTok and YouTube. Listen, accurate financials are going to protect you from some very unpleasant surprise. I want to talk about economic downturns. Because we got blindsided in 2020. We got blindsided in 2022. It's rough out there at the moment. And no business is immune to economic shifts. So preparing for downturns now can save you from crisis later on. The best way to do that is build an emergency fund. You know, beyond that cash reserve, can you get up a war chest? You know, building reserves and reserves of cash. This can be the difference between survival and closure. You know, when you go in the Far East, like China, I think it is, there's businesses that have been going for thousands and thousands of years. Use financial forecasting. Run scenarios for revenue dropping. You know, how would your business handle a 10%, 20% or even a 50% drop in revenue? Because it'll help you plan for the unexpected. I know what my problem point is in this business. I know what we do a month now on revenue, and I know at what point, if we start dropping below this revenue point of view, we're in big, big trouble. I've gone through the process of what does Armageddon look like for Director First. You know, if it happened, we've got loads of reserves to keep us going. Now, prepare for the worst and hope for the best. You know, that's what I'll say. Stay informed on what's going on in your industry. To stay competitive, you've got to be adaptable. You've got to keep up with trends. You know, help evolve with your industry and remain relevant. Invest in education, you know. For me, I want to know about marketing. Why do I want to know about marketing? Because if I learn about marketing, more of you lot are going to pick the phone up to me. I want to learn about changes in insolvency, what's happening, what's the new guidance, how do we adapt to it? You know, encourage your team to learn about it. You know, the more knowledge you got, the more helpful, the more service you can be to clients. And listen, embrace new technologies. Invest in tools that streamline operations and improve client experiences. Little tech upgrades can make all the difference. I've seen businesses that are sort of well informed and agile, are better positioned to face challenges. Make learning a part of your company culture. Build a resilient team. Like, your staff are your biggest assets, and a resilient team adapts to changes and helps your business stay strong during tough times. You've got to foster open communication. A transparent work environment encourages feedback and problem solving. Offer flexibility. You know, in working hours, I'm not a massive fan of working from home, but sometimes it's okay if the service and the standard of work is still high. You know, if someone's going to be late, don't rip their head off. You know, for me, it's like, is the work getting done? Is the work getting done to a high standard? How it gets done, I'm not stressed about, as long as the work's done and the client's happy. Because employees who are engaged are more productive and they're loyal, and that's going to help your business succeed. And it's about, for me, supporting your team. A happy team is a backbone of a resilient business. I want you to think about reevaluating your strategy, because no strategy is perfect forever. Revisiting business plans keeps your business aligned. I remember when we started our advertising on, probably back in 2019, Facebook was brilliant for us. It was cheap. We got loads of leads in. Overnight, Facebook hit the dumps. We had to find something else. We had to learn something else. At the start of this year, I had left my old business in December and I launched Direct to First. And one of the biggest lessons for me was I used to spend about 15 grand a month on AdWords, and I know that 15 would produce 30 or more. It was a great deal we had going on. I had years and years of data with Google Ads, and I changed and I had to start a new campaign, and it bombed. I lost money on Google Ads for bloody 8 months straight. And when that bombed, I had to learn about other avenues. I fostered more referral work from a network of people who need my services. You know, I've got to keep looking at things. I've got to review my goals. You know, where do I want this business to be? Listen, I'll be straight with you. We could blow this business up. We could have a massive call centre and, you know, I don't want that stress. I literally do not want that stress. I want to be able to put a good service to people out there. We're happy where we're going. I don't want to be the guy with 100 staff. Some of you might be. Everyone I see who has it is stressed out the nut. I've got 3 little kids. I want to go home and try and leave this at work, not always successfully. You know, what are your KPIs? What are you aiming for? What performance metrics are you looking at? What adjustments are needed to stay on track? I think it's important to get another perspective on your business. You know, working with mentors or advisors. Like, I have worked with loads over the years. Like, literally, I've spent tens of thousands on this. Because I can bullshit me. I'm the boss here. I can literally, I don't have to be accountable to anyone else. What I find with this person is we decide on what I'm going to do, and I go and bloody do it. And I talk to him when my head's coming off, and I go, what do you think about this? He's not involved in my business, and he gives it me straight. It's really, really helpful. And it doesn't have to be a paid mentorship. There's people in business that have sort of developed relationships over the years that I stick to. Listen, if I've seen someone who's doing a lot better than I am, I want to try and build a relationship with that person and learn from them. And what I found is people who are much higher up the tree than me, they're quite free with the advice that they give. Now, there you have it. The strategies that I believe are proven to keep your business healthy and avoid ever speaking to me. The key is to be proactive, stay informed, and take control of your business's financial future. I hope you found this video useful. My name's Chris Worden, and I'm from Direct to First.